What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the United Devils YouTube channel. My name is Arion, and we are back with another preview. We are back. United are back after a 2-week break following the third place finish in the Premier League. It is now time for this mini Europa League tournament, with the team having to finish off this formality of a second leg against LASK, which is set to take place tomorrow, Wednesday, at Old Trafford, which is a nice advantage for United, with players being rested and whatnot, for them not to have to travel after winning the first leg over in Austria 5-0. And then the team will travel, bar a disaster, of course, the team will travel over to Germany for their remaining 3 games, which would be the quarterfinal, the semi-final, and the final should the Reds reach it. They will all be played out over one leg, and in the space of, I believe, around 2 weeks, with United chasing that trophy to cap off this very good season domestically, with a nice European trophy to kind of start instilling that winning mentality into this young side, and with potential transfers coming in who unfortunately cannot play in this Europa League campaign. But the Premier League season will be just around the corner, starting on September 12th, following the conclusion of the Europa League. So everything is very much turning over very quickly. And the fixtures are coming thick and fast. The new season is, like I just said, just right upon us. And it would be very good to finish off this season with a trophy. As Solskjaer said in his press conference, that, and Jesse Lingard also echoed it, it is nice to finish third. It is nice to qualify for the Champions League, but that is literally the bare minimum for a club of Manchester United's stature. And it would be nice to win a trophy, and to, after reaching 2 domestic semi-finals in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, for this team to go into the final, get a victory, taste a victory, know how it feels to win wearing the Manchester United badge, and kind of go from there in what is shaping up to be a very exciting 2020-2021 Premier League season. So, predicted 11, Solskjaer in his press conference said that, of course, Axel Tuanzebe and Luke Shaw will not be available, that they should be fit for the first week of the Premier League that will return next month. So the squad is essentially, as we already know it. Ethan Laird, of course, has been added into it, and he might be able to feature. There has been no departures. Ethan Galbraith has been said that he will be joining the squad next week, so he will likely travel with the squad to Germany following a few more coronavirus tests, but he is unlikely to be involved on Wednesday night. And Solskjaer said that the players are raring to go. Nobody wants to be rested. They want to win this trophy. And I think, as much as United fans would like some of the key players to be rested, and I think some of them will in the game against LASK, it is very good to hear that this squad is going into the Europa League, a competition that is looked down upon by some fans and some other clubs, and they want to win it. A trophy is a trophy at the end of the day. This is a European trophy. There are still some very good teams left in the competition that United will have to beat should they progress past the quarterfinal stage, in which they will be playing Istanbul Basaksehir, as far as I'm aware right now. So, it's good to hear. It's refreshing to hear that there is winners at this team. There's players that want to win, that do want to bring that silverware to United, that want to feel how it feels to win a trophy with Manchester United. And of course, it will be great to see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer lift his first trophy as the manager as well, because as much as it would be a confidence boost to the players, it would of course also be a huge confidence boost to him, and a reward for the work that he has done at the club so far, because the progress is glaring. It's right there for everybody to see. The players that are being shipped out, the players that are getting brought in, the ages that are getting shipped out, and then the youthfulness that is getting brought into the squad, the refreshment that has been done in the squad, the kind of deep clean that the Norwegian legend has been doing, is being noticed. More people are starting to take notice, and a victory in the Europa League and being able to lift that trophy before the Premier League season starts would be some sort of a validation for the hard work that's being put in. Excuse me. So Solskjaer mentioned that there shouldn't be too many changes to the squad that played LASK back a long time ago, back in March, in United's very last game before the coronavirus break, which was, of course, the first game that United played in front of no fans. And in that game, Sergio Romero started, Brandon Williams was on the right, Eric Bailly and Harry Maguire were centrally, while Luke Shaw was on the left. Fred and McTominay were in the double pivot with Juan Mata, Bruno Fernandes, and Daniel James in front, and with Odion Igalo, who scored that fantastic goal, that flick up volley from outside of the box to open the scoring. He was playing up front with the substitutions Andreas Pereira, Tahith Chong, and Mason Greenwood coming on in the later stages of the second half. So Solskjaer said that not many changes should be expected, that a team similar to that one will be playing. And it is worth noting that, of course, Luke Shaw will not be featuring because he is injured. But otherwise, everyone else that is shown here and that was on the bench is available, other than Axel Tuanzebe, who was on the bench but did not feature in that game. And of course, just to reiterate, Odion Igalo, Daniel James, Juan Mata, Mason Greenwood, and Andreas Pereira got on the score sheet in that 5-0 victory, just to remind people, in case you forgot, because it was a long time ago. It's unprecedented how early the first leg was compared to the second, but these are the new times that we are living in. But as for the predicted 11, I would expect Sergio Romero to feature. I would expect Brandon Williams to feature, and I would expect Eric Bailly to feature from that back line. I also think that Ethan Laird will get a start. I think if there's ever an opportunity to give him a start from the very first minute and at Old Trafford and to get those valuable minutes into the tank in senior football, it is now, with a 5-0 cushion and with United looking all but through into the quarterfinals. If we're being honest, this is just more of a preparation game rather than a meaningful game. So I think Ethan Laird stepping into this line on the right, Brandon Williams would shift over to the left, and Eric Bailly, I think, will retain his spot. I would like to see Ted Mengi in there, so I will put him in my predicted 11 because, again, similar to Laird, if not now, then when? There is unlikely, with the team seemingly determined on winning this trophy, going to be a chance in the quarter, semis, or the final for the likes of Mengi and Laird to get any more minutes, bar an injury catastrophe, which of course we do not wish on this team. So I think Laird and Mengi, this is the perfect time for them to start. And perhaps maybe if Mengi was to start as centre-back, Eric Bailly is not the right partner. Maybe Harry Maguire will retain his spot, as Solskjaer does like and trust him to be in pretty much every 11 if he is fit. So for me, I will say Bailly and Mengi, but I think realistically maybe Maguire and Mengi will be in the centre of the defence, because it would be good for the 18-year-old to have somebody like Maguire next to him to kind of guide him through the game, even though it is not against some top-tier opposition. But nevertheless, it will be his senior debut should he get the start. So for the back line, of course, Romero, Laird, Mengi, Bailly, and Williams for me, but I will not be surprised if Harry Maguire gets the start. Then in front, I would expect Fred and McTominay to start in that double pivot as they did against LASK in the reverse fixture. I don't think Paul Pogba will play. He played quite a lot of football coming off an injury after lockdown, with the games coming thick and fast, of course, in the league and in the FA Cup. So I would expect Pogba to be rested here. He will probably be on the bench, and if needed, which probably will not be needed, but if needed, he can come on and get some minutes just so he's not rusty before the trip over to Germany. But I would expect Scott McTominay and Fred to start in that double pivot. Maybe there's a chance in there for James Garner to slot in as well, and maybe a 4-3-3 formation, but I wouldn't bet on it, especially if Laird and Mengi start at the back. I don't think there was going to be an academy overhaul in the first 11, so I think the Brazilian midfielder and the Scotsman will retain their spots in that double pivot. And then the three going forward just in front is the more interesting one, because Juan Mata, Bruno, and Daniel James could very well be the same thing, but I do think that Bruno will be rested for this one. I think if anyone does deserve a rest and needs a rest from this squad, it is Bruno, who has been playing relentlessly, just like Harry Maguire, getting pretty much no breaks, starting every game post-lockdown and featuring heavily. And he looked like he was on tired legs coming near the end of the domestic season, and especially in the last few games in the Premier League, he did look like he was in need of a break. But United were just not able to give him one because of the magnitude of all the fixtures, of the pressure on all of them, and because of the stakes. So I do think that Bruno and Pogba could sit this one out, and I would give a start to Tahith Chong on the right. I would play Juan Mata in the 10, and then Daniel James on the left. And I think this is a good opportunity to get Chong back in there, who hasn't been involved post-lockdown at all. It's a good chance also to give Mason Greenwood and Marcus Rashford a break, because they have been playing quite a lot and featuring heavily. And as I said before, you would assume that United will return to probably their strongest 11 once this competition reaches the quarter-final stage, which will be next week. So I think this is the perfect opportunity to rotate a little bit. and give some of the players that haven't been getting minutes potentially their last minutes of the season. So Chong, Mata, and Dan James in that trio, just behind the striker, who I do expect it to be Odion Nigalo as well, giving Anthony Martial some well-deserved rest after he played a huge part in United's third place finish, not only in scoring goals, but in his altogether build-up play, the pressing, the involvement in everything that United did good going forward. So I think it is crucial that United give rest to those players, even though they have just been off for almost a week and now they're back in training. But it's different when you don't have to go into that game, and still, even though you're 5-0 up, you still have to run, you still have to press, you still have to work hard, because you don't want to concede or make things unnecessarily interesting. So with Solskjaer saying that you shouldn't expect a team much different to the one that played LASK, I would expect Bruno Fernandes to just drop out of this team. And then, of course, Rashford and Martial and Greenwood weren't in it to begin with. So I think that would make a lot of sense, and neither was Pogba. So, but we will live and we will see. But just to go back on it, I think Sergio Romero in goal, Ethan Laird at right back, Eric Bailly and Teden Mengi in the middle, Brandon Williams on the left, Fred and McTominay in the double pivot, Chong, Mata, and Dan James in the three behind the striker. And that striker, I think, will be Odion Nigalo, who had a very good game against LASK in the reverse fixture.